I'm excited to share with you a couple of little tips and tricks that I get asked the most about when it comes to makeup application. What is contouring? How do I do it? And what is highlighting? And can I do it at my age? The answer is yes, my friend. So come on in. Do me a favor, put a hashtag replay if you're joining this on the replay. You are joining this on the replay. I'll tell you that. I am a psychic person, but honestly, I know nobody's joined it at this point live. So you are watching this on the replay. But the other thing that I would love, oh, someone just jumped on. Hello, newbie. You can put a hashtag hello lovely, and that's your way to give me a high five, to wave, any of those kind of things. And don't forget, you can hit the share button below, share this to your stories, your page, your wall, share it with a friend, anyone who you think might benefit or enjoy learning this content. I greatly appreciate it. Today, while we're talking contouring and highlighting, we're also going to be talking turkey. Today is the Monday before Thanksgiving, and so many people are gearing up, getting ready for the big old holiday on Thanksgiving on Thursday. I'm just gonna take a little eye cream because I have been dealing with some crazy health issues this past few days. So I need some eye cream because I have been feeling it, my friends. So yeah, quick little recap. For those of you who don't know, hi, my name's Mary. I'm a mom of two. I'm married to my best friend. We are professional nerds. We podcast about book and television series that we love. In addition to doing that, I love to help people feel more confident and creative when it comes to their makeup and their skincare. Skincare that I'm putting on right now is my eye cream to help me depuff, lighten up those dark circles, and also help with the wrinkles that I've got. Because I'm 40 and I'm fabulous, but I also love to smile. I'm like Buddy the Elf. Smiling is my favorite, and because of that, I do get some fine lines. It's all good, though. It is all good. So I'm just massaging that eye cream underneath my skin. I am going to, ideally, put a little, there we go, day cream on for the extra hydration. My skin has been parched. It is understandable because it has been cold here in Rhode Island. So we're going to kick things off for a smidge, just giving you a little update about my health. I have been dealing with long COVID, and in the meantime, just like random things in my body are acting up. A lot of things are just kind of getting tense or tight or inflamed. I just found out a couple weeks ago I've been having heart issues all this time. So tomorrow I'm going for my echocardiogram echo stress test. That's what it is. It's the next step, echo stress test. I'm going to be on a little treadmill, having some weird things happen to me, and see how my heart reacts. So in the meantime, I do get headaches. And when it's my time of the month, I get a really bad one. Oh my goodness gracious. I've never had headaches like this before in my life. It's been crazy since I got sick in February. So once a month, I get a bad headache. And when I've had that headache, I would take Excedrin. So once we found out that I had some heart issues, I had to go cold turkey off of my medicine. I'm using some Prime and Set Mist. This is a great, in a pinch primer, nice and light. So if you're wearing just a little bit of makeup, it's going to help really make the makeup stick and stay on your face. If you're looking for something that is going to more fill in your pores, your fine lines, something a little bit longer lasting, I will recommend a tube type of primer. All of these items, of course, you can find at minutewithmary.com. But I'm running some quick errands today, so I'm just going to use my Prime and Set Mist. This is for my makeup minimalists. It feels like you're kissed by angels. It's so nice and light. I absolutely love it. Do me a favor if you're joining in, put hashtag hello lovely just so I can see who's here. So on Friday, my headache was just picking up a lot, and I wasn't able to take anything for it. And it was just getting really bad. I mean, I was crying level bad. It was not pretty. So I had an ice pack on my head, a heating pad on my feet, trying to get the blood flow taken out of my head, and it just wasn't working well. So we called my doctor, and my doctor said I was able to take some Excedrin. Hi, Rachel. How are you? Thank you so much for that hashtag. Love you, my friend. Taking a little bit of concealer to brighten up the darkness that I have in these eyes, because when you have a bad headache for quite some time, it ain't pretty. It ain't pretty, and it does a number on your face. So I'm going to take a blending bud with that setting spray. If you have fine lines, dryness, crepiness around your eyes, taking that light setting spray mist with your concealer is going to even out the product a little bit, but also set it in place so it will not crease. It will not crease, and you're going to feel so much better about it if you do have difficulties with concealer. But you do want to have a damp blending bud. So on Friday, it was just getting bad. Doctor said I could take Excedrin. I took the Excedrin. The pain started to subside a bit, but then some weird stuff happened. I felt like I couldn't breathe much. I felt like my breathing was very, very shallow, like I couldn't catch my breath. It felt very much like an anxiety or panic attack, but mentally, I wasn't there. Like I was like, I'm fine, but my body is freaking out. I felt like there was tightness in my chest. I did feel nauseous because of the pain of the headache. So all those things combined, knowing that I have heart problems, we had to leave. We had to go to the ER. So I dropped my kids off at my mom's, headed on up to the less populated, the smaller hospital, thinking that the wait would be shorter. And it was shorter, but by shorter, I mean there was still a 4 to 5 hour wait to get from the waiting room into a room. The only way that you are really going to be seen quickly is if you come in an ambulance, but that of course is a beautifully high bill, and I believe that ambulances should be saved for people who are honestly about to die. So when I got inside the hospital, they did check my heart rate, they checked my blood oxygen level, and because I was worried about heart issues, they did give me an EKG at that moment. Nothing out of control, so that was all good news. But still, they said, okay, you gotta wait here, and I did not want to sit in a waiting room with sick people for 4 to 5 hours. No thank you. No thank you. So I asked them to call me, and there is a restaurant just down the road where a lot of people who are the older variety like to frequent. So in my mind, I thought they must have a defibrillator and people there must know CPR, and probably they have to practice it at least once or twice a year. So I was like, bring me to where the people who may have heart issues belong, where they're eating dinner. And so I felt safer there. You know, I was warm. I got to have some tea, got to have a piece of pie. And because I'm not sick, you know, I didn't feel bad going into a public place. It's not like I was super sick in the hospital, coughing, sneezing, and then going to a public place. I was just really nervous about my breathing and my heart. So I went to that restaurant. We waited there for a couple of hours. Still were not seen. And at that point, I told Blake, let's just go home. My breathing had started to get a bit deeper, so I felt like I could catch my breath. I didn't feel the same tightness in my chest. The nausea had gone down a little bit. So I don't know, and they have pie, right, Rachel? Let's get priorities. Hi, Tara Noel, how are you? So I just felt... I felt better. I felt more like me. So I don't know if my body had a really harsh reaction to the Excedrin, because mind you, I've been off of all sorts of medications for a couple of weeks now. I'm doing my Serum Plus foundation. This is a light to full coverage foundation based upon how much you use. It is infused with skincare. So you got to give it a good old shake. And it's great, particularly for those who are worried about aging showing up on their face, because it has anti-aging skincare in it. It's really nice and hydrating. And you can go nice and light depending upon what you want. So just so you know, there's a dropper on it. Some people put it directly on their face. Some people drop it directly onto their brush. For me, I like to put it on the back of my hand and I dip my brush into that, or I take my finger and I just put the product on my face directly and then blend it out from there. My mom's calling. My mom's calling. I'm gonna have to answer you later, Mom, unless you come on my live. My good old Apple Watch. So I haven't worn this shade in a while, so I need to give it a little extra shake. Sorry about that. So we went home, and the next day I took the kids to go see Matilda. So Blake and I took the kids to go see a show, and that was kind of like our big outing. And that's basically what I have to do right now while I am conserving my energy and watching, you know, where I'm spending it, is that I can't really do too many big things at once, or else then my headache starts to pick up. So I took that foundation on the back of my hand, and now I'm going to blend it out with a Kabuki brush. So this is my favorite brush for foundations. It just really is a nice, stiffly, like densely packed brush with a flat top. It's going to create a really nice base for your foundation. And I am going a little more to the fuller, medium fuller coverage with this foundation today, just because my face looks all splotchy since I wasn't feeling well. So we went home, I rested, we did Matilda. It was fantastic. Matilda, if you're in Rhode Island, Moses Brown did their first ever, not first ever, but they probably did it back in several years ago, but they did like a school-wide, like 3rd grade through 12th grade production of Matilda. And I love bringing my kids to local middle school and high school performances. I do take them sometimes to professional shows, but they just cost so much more, and God forbid my kids don't like the show, want to leave at intermission. That happened to me in Hamilton. Can we just have a moment of silence for the amount of money I spent on those tickets? But I had taken one of my children to it, and truth be told, this child was having a tickle in their throat, and they weren't feeling good. And it was like shortly after we were allowed to go back into society, so they had the mask on their mouth, so they couldn't breathe that well, and it was just like an allergy tickle. But everyone would like look over because there would be a so that was bad. And then they said, I don't really want to be here, and I'm not liking this that much. I just kind of like the CD, the soundtrack at home. So when it is a school performance, it's either free or like $5 or $10, and I do not feel bad if we need to leave early. The other cool thing when you go to more of a school-based performance is that there's frequently a lot of other kids in the audience. So if your kid does wiggle around or talks at all, what's happening here? You're not going to be shushed by like patrons who are like, oh, God forbid, 7-year-old, come to the theater. So I really, really like it. And so I'm on like the email list for a bunch of local schools theater productions. My kids don't even go to these schools, but I'm like, give me it all. It's a great way to expose them to. It's a great way to see like what kids their age or their peers or even a little bit older can do. So if you yourself like theater, go find a school that has a high caliber theater department, and I'm telling you, you're going to be blown away by the local kids. But especially if you have young ones in your life who may be interested in movies and acting and singing and dancing, take them to one of these shows. It's going to be so inspirational for them. All right, so that was the Serum Plus foundation. I did put some of it under my eyes, so I honestly don't feel like I need to be using concealer underneath my eyes right now. So we're just going to let that be. When you use the Set and Spray Mist, you can actually do in between layers, as it's just going to add a little extra grip. You don't have to. You can just do it in the beginning and then at the end. But for me, I like to do it in between layers, but particularly after my foundation. And then I just take my brush and I actually press it. You can even do this with your blending sponge. If you have texture, pores, scars, wrinkles, and you do that light setting spray, and then you just kind of tap this damp blending bud to really meld that setting spray into your foundation, it's going to look flawless. It's going to look like it's just your natural skin is that healthy and glowing and amazing. It's going to really limit how much it settles into your face or any of those kind of difficulties. It locks the product down even more. So if you have the time, you just do a light setting, you do a light spray of that Prime and Set Mist, and then you take your little blending bud, you pounce it all over. I'm telling you, you're gonna be like, oh, my skin looks good. And yes, it may, but also it's because the makeup isn't like floating around on top. It's really kind of pressed gently into your skin to make it look super, super natural. Rachel says it's a good idea. Doodles wants to get into musical theater. Yeah, so Rachel, honestly, like go look for your different local theater productions, because there's obviously like theater camps and theater shows where kids go, but then there's other ones that are happening like inside their schools themselves. So I totally recommend it. All right, I'm going to go in now with some contouring. So what is contouring? Contouring is adding angles and depth back into your face. You can use either a product that's specifically for contour and or you could use a bronzer. For reference, I'm using the shade Light. There is one shade a little lighter. I think it's called Fair. But I'm using Light. It's the second to lightest shade. Come on, blending buds, stay there. So when you're going in with your contouring, you can use a contour brush. I love this brush just because it really hugs your cheekbone. And so you can see where my cheekbone shadow naturally is. I can either enhance that or I can bring it up a little bit to make it look like my cheeks are even more lifted. You can find out where your cheekbone is if you can't see it just by taking your fingers and kind of pulling it down your face. You'll start to feel where it starts to hug and go under. And so you're just going to go right in that area. And I like to stop before your eye ends. Okay, so around the brow area or before your eye ends, I just find that to be a really natural spot to stop. You don't want it to go too far in. You don't want it to look like you have a beard, nor do you want to be going too far down. So I'm going, you can see my natural shadow is more here, but I'm making the contour line here to give my face a little bit more of a lift. Can you see the difference? I mean, it's not even well blended, but can you see the difference of where my cheekbone is a little lower here versus my contour? Say the word difference if you can. I always don't know if it corresponds, like if it actually showcases as well on camera as I can see it in real life. So once again, you can see a little bit. I even brought that a little too far in. That's more my blush area. But let me know if you can see the difference of it. And then I go around the top of my forehead. You don't have to. I do have a larger forehead, especially when I don't have bangs or my hair is a little more pulled back. So this is just going to add some warmth and dimension to this area. So I go around the hairline. And this is more of a bronzing action. It's just kind of warming up the face. When you do more of a bigger area, that's more of a bronzing versus a contouring. And then I do go around the ear and then underneath the cheekbone a little bit. This is going to help get rid of some of that double chin action because once again, it's just mimicking shadows. So great product for you if you want to add that dimension, warmth, if you yourself are becoming part vampire like I am. And then I'm also going to show you how I contour my nose. So my natural nose shadows are more here. I've got a pretty wide nose. And if I want it to look a little thinner, ideally I would be taking an eyeshadow brush, or you can just take your brush and like squeeze it tight so it's a little line. And then you either are going to enhance your natural shadow, or if you want to make your nose look thinner, you're going to actually make the shadow start a little further up. Okay, and this is just going to be an optical illusion. That's what contouring is. It's an optical illusion. It's making it look like there's a shadow there that there isn't. You can also do this and make a shadow a little further up to make it look like your nose is shorter, because here's my nose shadow, but if I wanted my nose to look a little shorter, I could just put a little contouring right here and it will look like it ended sooner. So you could see just this little bit. Now I will say nose contouring takes a little bit of practice, but the great thing is that if you mess up, you can just take your foundation brush and just kind of blend it out and you're not going to have to worry as much. So I will just figure that in and I will blend that out in a hot second. But you can see, so right here it's not as super strong, but you can see that nose contour. So I am going to blend it, but I just wanted you to see the placement. So I make like a 3 or an E around my face. That adds that definition, and then you can blend it a wee bit more. But this contouring brush, as I said, it just hugs that cheekbone so beautifully. Can you see the difference? Let me know. I don't see the word difference below and I want to make sure you can see it. So you can see especially that cheekbone is what I'm trying to call your attention to. Now I'm going to go in. Oh no. I am going to have to make this a little quick. So hurry up, Mary. I'm smelling something like, what's that smell? I decided to bake bread today and I'm using a new method. Don't worry, there's no bread burning in the oven, but I do have my oven on. I do have it on high. And there's nothing in it, so I do need to go check on it and put the bread in it. I bought my first ever Dutch oven, so I'm really excited. I began baking bread post getting COVID because it is a meditation exercise for me. You ready for this? You ready for me to get all kinds of crunchy on you? I am not a patient person. I move very, very quickly. I talk quickly. I live quickly and loudly, and then I crash. So I have had a few people be like, Mary, you're not sick. You're always like so animated. I am 0 or 100. Like in a couple of hours, I'm just going to be like passed out on the couch. It's just how I live my life. It's part of my personality. So, I have had to learn a lot about patience, and I've had to learn a lot that sometimes things take time, like healing from a sickness and getting better. It's long COVID after all. It's not short COVID. So baking bread, particularly sourdough bread, has been a wonderful, wonderful experiment for me because sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, and there's nothing that I did wrong. It could just be a temperature, it could be who knows what. Every single loaf of bread is coming out differently. So things like that have been a really cool experiment for me to distract myself, but also to be a way for myself to slow down and to appreciate things that take time. Because if you go too quickly, your bread won't, rise properly. Because I'm doing sourdough, it has to allow time for the yeast, the natural yeast, to really do its job. So it has just been, oh my goodness, my nose is itchy. Let me get my foundation brush. Or I could get the little sponge. Ah! Anyone know that like old wives' tale that if your nose is itchy, it means somebody's talking about you? Oh, stop talking about me. Stop it, world. So yeah, but I did just get a Dutch oven, a cast iron Dutch oven, which is great to create the kind of like really crunchy circular sourdough that I've been wanting so much. I've been baking my sourdough in more of a traditional bread loaf pan. I'm going to take just that foundation brush and I'm just going to soften the edges while I'm chatting here, just to make sure that there's no harsh edges. Blending is key. So this was contouring, adding those angles into my face. Slimming down the width of my nose, kind of adding some more angles into my cheekbones. You can definitely take the bronzer And if you want to have more of a glow to your face, if you want to look a little warmer, you could take a bigger, fluffier brush and just kind of put that all over. Same here, says Rachel's I'm Extremes. For me, it's an ADH thing. I've told you, Rachel, I'm like, I probably need to go get checked out to see if I do. I also do know that there's been like attention and anxiety issues for people who have long COVID. So who knows? I'm just going to keep rolling through and see how things go. So that is contouring. That was contouring. I want to show you, I'm going to do a smidge of blush. I will tell you that I have a special that is ending tonight at midnight where you can get a cream blush stick that doubles as a lip product. I am so excited about it, but it's brand new, so I don't even have it necessarily. But I am going to practice with my powder blush, but the cream blush is going to give you a more dewy, younger kind of glow look. You can also just use it by yourself if you're someone who doesn't want to necessarily have foundations. It's a great all-in-one color stick. But the bundle is your choice of one of the color sticks plus either a highlighter or a bronzer. And then you can upgrade and get another color stick if you'd like. So I wanted to show you the bronzing and highlighting so that way if you did want to get the color stick and try it out, remember everything on my site is 14 days money back risk-free guarantee that you can. So I'm not going to go too in depth about the blush because this isn't even the blush that's part of the bundle, but mine is coming and I'm super pumped. So yeah, so I'm baking bread in a cast iron Dutch oven today. But I preheated the oven because it has to get up to 500 degrees to get all that nice little crustiness. So I thought, okay, I'll preheat it. And then I forgot about it. So my oven is preheating. My Dutch oven is preheated. But I forgot about it. I love to bring the blush more, so it's kind of like Neapolitan ice cream, chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. So I put the blush a little bit more above the contouring. It's up to you if you want to bring it in a little further than the outside of the eye. So the outside of the eye, that brow area, is kind of where I bring the contouring to. And then when I do my blush, I do it more below the iris and up. You never want to have your blush go below your nose, as that is just going to bring your face down. It's going to make you look like you have a rash. And you also want to leave a little space between your nostrils and where the blush begins. So this really just adds nice lift and color and warmth to your face. Rachel says, if your turkey is still in the freezer, don't forget to move it to the fridge today. Thank you, Rachel. I have to go buy my turkey. So I think I might be getting, does it mean I get a fresh one or does it mean I get a frozen one and then I just leave it out today? Let me know. I probably call Blake too to see what he wants. Right, let's do to the piece de resistance, the highlighter. Cool fun fact, if you have a bronzer and a highlighter, you don't need eyeshadow because they double as it. Even your blush doubles as it. So I will just do a little bit with that bronzer, that same matte bronzer that I was using. Once again, I use the shade Light. It is the second to fairest shade. So if this was a little too dark for you for bronzing and contouring, and if you're brand new to it and you just want to try it on out, you can get the sheer fair. There we go. But I do find that the shade Light is a really nice, I don't know, it gives a nice glow to it if you're ready to try it on out. But as you can see, I'm using this bronzer as my transition shade. When you use your bronzer or your blush or your highlighter as your eyeshadow, it just gives a really nice natural cohesive look to your makeup look. And do a little bit as my undershadow. This is a great thing for you if you don't want to have eyeliner all the way down there. It still really completes the look. Let's get into highlighting. So excited. So highlighting is the opposite of contouring. Contouring is creating shadows and highlighting is drawing attention to the lit up areas, the higher point areas, areas that you want to kind of move forward. Contouring brings things back, highlighting brings things forward. So these go on the high points of your face, plus other areas that you want to give more attention to. So I particularly love to get a little bit on my finger. This is the shade Blushing. You can see it's like a beautiful rose gold color. A couple other shades that I recommend if you wanted to try them out are Golden. Golden is a gentle, like soft yellow gold color, very, very natural. Frosty is more of like a white color. So Golden I recommend for people who are warm undertoned or neutral undertoned. Frosty I love for people who have cooler undertones or neutral undertones. And then this shade Blushing, everybody can do. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful shade. So I did a little on the little end of my nose. It gives that little button nose. I also like to put a little bit down the center of my nose. So we did on the outside areas, that contouring. And then this is going to make my nose look a little thinner and catch that light right there. And I'm just using my finger for right now, but you can always use a brush. Another big spot to use your highlighter is in this inner corner. So outer corners are where We use those darker eyeshadow shades. The inner corner is where we want to add that light. And I even personally love to use it as an eyeshadow on this lower portion of my lid. It just brightens things up, continues with that cohesiveness. Rachel says, also, I really love your red sweater, so pretty. And tell Blake the new lighting is popping. This isn't the new lighting. Ready? I didn't turn those on. But I will tell him nonetheless that this lighting is still making you happy, but I did not turn those on. I didn't know what I was doing. You can take a little bit of this highlighter right underneath. Once again, you can do it with a brush. I should do it with a brush to show you. But you can also use your fingers. I believe our fingers are our greatest tools, so I use my fingers a lot. But right here under this apex of your brow, this is going to give your brow a lift. So if your eyes are a little saggy, a little bit of highlighter is great. And what I love about this highlighter is it is not a like really hardcore shimmery glittery teeny bopper kind of highlighter. It is a creamy kind of highlighter, so it really looks good on all ages, all skin types. You know, no matter your age, this is a fabulous one. And honestly, when you use highlighter properly, it's gonna make you look younger. It's gonna make your skin look a bit more hydrated, a bit more youthful. So a lot of people steer away from highlighters under this false belief that, oh, I'm at a certain age, I can't use it. No. A, there's no rules in makeup, and B, it's gonna make you look fabulous, I promise. Another fabulous place to put it, right here on this Cupid's bow. So that's kind of the V of your lips. This is gonna make it look like the light is hitting it, like your lips got a little bit of an upgrade. But this is just really anywhere that you want it to seem like things are a bit higher, a bit more pronounced. Very, very commonplace is right here on this higher portion of your cheekbone. So we've got that chocolate, strawberry, vanilla, that Neapolitan ice cream with our contour, aka the matte bronzer that I used, some blush, and then we're gonna have some highlighter. Fun little thing though, if you, like me, love to smile and you got some good crow's feet action growing around here, make sure that you put it below. Otherwise, your wrinkles will be highlighted a little too much. So if you don't want the texture, the pores, the wrinkles to be catching people's attention, just move to a spot that doesn't have as much texture, okay? So I've got those crow's feet all over here, so I like to go a little under, but you can see that beautiful highlight, catch the light. It just makes my skin look really, really young and youthful. Some people put it a little bit more here, kind of anywhere where you see the light catch. The world is your oyster. So here's with no highlight, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of it. You can use an eyeshadow brush. I actually really, really love using like a blending eyeshadow brush. It's just nice and soft. There is a highlighter brush on my site, which will pick up a bit more product. You can use your fingers. Really, the world is your oyster. But to be able to double it as an eyeshadow with your bronzer or with your blush is just such an easy thing for travel, for more makeup minimalists, if you have a little makeup bag. But that is it. Can you see it? Can you see it? I love it so much. So these items are part of my bundle number 6. It does end tonight at midnight. So it includes my all-in-one color stick, which is a cream blush and lip product with up to 10-hour wear. You can blend it with your fingers, a blending sponge. You can wear it with your full-out makeup, or honestly, you can just wear it by itself. It is so great, wonderful for all ages, just really nice. And then you double that with either a bronzer or a highlighter. So now you got to see how to use both of those products. You can head on over to minutewithmary.com. You're going to get, I think it's like a 20 to 25% off savings, and it does end at midnight. Anything from my site, anything whatsoever, skincare, mascara, blush, lip products. You get a 14-day try it out, money back guarantee. I want you to try it out. I want you to message me. I want you to like do the little tutorials and feel awesome. But if you do not love it, you get 100% of your money back. And if, goodness gracious, you get caught up in the holiday season, you forget to message me, and then you still don't love it, you actually still get product credit within 3 months. So you will still be able to get something that you do love after the new year. Okay, so I want you to treat yourself. I want you to feel fabulous for this holiday season. These products last super duper long. They're not tested on animals. They are naturally based. And of course, all products, 10% of the sale, the proceeds, goes towards Sapria, which is a nonprofit that I support to help adult survivors of childhood sexual abuse. So I know it's a heavy, like, ooh, dark topic, but it is a heavy, dark topic, and there's not enough resources out there. And I have had 2 friends who have personally been able to benefit from going to this fully paid for retreat. I myself, as a parent, have been able to utilize the online resources, and I haven't talked about it yet, but there have been a couple of situations just within this year that I have been able to act and behave safely for my children because of things that I learned through Supriya. So I am like all in, and knowing that 10% of the proceeds from every single one of the sales at minutewithmary.com goes to support that cause, I love it even more. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I'm here to help you with color ideas, with any kind of products if you want to buy yourself a gift. If you have purchased your mascara in the summer, you need a new mascara now. We want to make sure you look fabulous for the holidays. So please reach out. Just send me a message. You can comment below. I do have links in the comments of this post as well to help you on out there. And thank you as always for tuning in to This Minute with Mary. You can hit that share button if you learned something today. Do let me know in the comments what you learned or as you share it with your friends, and I'll talk with you soon.